So I'm Giulietta from the Professional Nursery Kitchen. So we provide healthy, nutritious food for children, especially for the early years. So we have a team of chefs, nutritionists, dietitians that we're passionate about creating the dishes for the children. So mainly we provide, we prepare the food from fresh ingredients in our professional kitchen. And then we pack them in the proper sizes as well, tray sizes to go directly to the nursery, and the nursery will finish it up cooking in their own premises. Yes, and the main reason our menus are designed is to take into consideration the children's nutrition, the safety as well. So about children's nutrition, we based all our menus, the way we design the menus, the way we prepare the recipes, is to have a healthy balanced diet. And a healthy balanced diet for children between the age of 1 to 4 is consistent in four different groups. So we based all our recipes with the guidelines of the British Nutrition Foundation and Eat Better, Start Better guidelines. And these four groups consist on 5 portions of starchy foods, 5 portions of fruit and vegetables, 3 portions of dairy or the alternatives, and 2 portions of proteins that includes either meat or the plant-based for the vegetarians or vegans. So we not only want to fill up the children's bellies, but mainly looking at the nutrition side of it. Yes, so this we believe this is extremely important, because we understand that there's a preference in food for children from birth. Actually, they've got a set preference, but it's only until the age of 3 that we actually can, their preferences are kind of set. So we've got a very small window of time, actually, to promote and to provide and to make children taste new foods, yes, and create that preference of healthy choices. So in our, the main idea is actually to with our menu is to present new foods, but not only new foods, but all the ingredients and teaching the children as well to create those that palette themselves, and then also the safety aspect of it. So the way we prepare the food is to avoid cross-contamination as well of allergens. Nowadays, there's a lot of allergens going around with children, my own children as well, particularly when they started nursery, so being dairy-free. And my concern was that cross-contamination, or the potential cross-contamination. So, but the way we cook it in the professional nursery kitchen is that we start cooking the foods, or preparing the foods without any allergens, and then throughout the day we start adding the allergens as the day goes along. If we had to prepare any foods with allergens at the beginning, we follow very strict policies and protocols and procedures, cleaning procedures, to remove all the allergens after cooking or preparing the food with allergens, and even the airborne allergens. So we remove all of that, and then we start cooking a new recipe with no allergens. So we make sure that there's no cross-contamination, and the way the nursery receives the food is all very well packed. So again, they can make sure they are assured that there's no cross-contamination at the nursery even. And in regards to the allergens, the nursery will have all access to all our ingredients. So they can make sure that even before giving, after, before cooking and after cooking and before serving the food to the children, they've got all the information available just to provide the child with allergies or the special diet requirements that the food that they are assigned. And the other aspect of the way we prepare the foods is actually safety in terms of choking hazards. So we really try to avoid any potential risk of choking hazard. That means that all the ingredients are cut really to small sizes, and it's always the same. So in that way, the carrots, the potatoes, the onions, and even the meat are all cut to size, very small sizes. So we avoid that the possibility of a choking hazard. Obviously, anything can be a choking hazard, and I'm sure the nurses is doing a great job, always keeping an eye and maintaining and observing during lunchtime. Yes, so to make sure that they eat safely as well. And the other aspect of why we do what we do is mainly to understand the children's experience as well when they try new foods, especially with the facilitators. So we understand that it is always some kind of challenge actually with the facilitators, and it normally starts by the age of 2. And that's what we say, well, the terrible twos, but actually it's a very, very normal reaction from a child from that age, because it comes with their own, as a human nature, and which is called food neophobia, right? In the old ages, in the cave age or cave times, or even in the jungle nowadays, when the children, the families have to forage foods and for them to eat, by the age of 2, or by the age of after one and a half, when they're more independent and the children start walking around, this kind of food neophobia prevents them from poison themselves, yes, in the forests. So this is a way to avoid them from harming, through eating something that they shouldn't. So that's a very natural reaction. They would only eat from a person of trust. So that's the main the main way to encourage children to start eating. So, and the key worker at the nursery, I'm sure the key person, actually, they will be encouraging that child to eat, and they will trust her, and slowly will be starting to eat the food. And well, we all understand and we all know that it might take some time. We have to be very patient with them. And I learned that it takes up to 15 times for a child to eat a new food. And when I learned this, I thought to myself, well, I'm really a bad parent with my children, because after the second time I tried and they rejected it, I would say, okay, I'm not cooking the aubergine anymore. Yes, but when I learned this, I actually put it into practice. And for example, normal pasta that all children love as well. One day I changed to a different pasta, a little more healthy, with wholemeal pasta. And obviously, the first time when they said my bolognese with the wholemeal, they said, no, I don't like this. What did you do? It was our favorite food. I said, well, this is more healthy, so it's healthier, and we're going to try this now. So they started eating, always, moaning as well. The second time as well. The third time, silence. They kept eating, fourth, fifth, and all the time. And one day, I found the old pasta in my cupboard. And I tried it, and I said, well, I'm going to use it. And I tried it with a favorite bolognese, and straight away their reaction is, oh, Mom, what did you do? What's this? What's this pasta? And I said, well, this is what you used to love. And that actually proved exactly what repetition and patience, did, meaning that they have to get used to it, and once they get used to it, they start liking it, and hopefully, they will choose it later in life when you show them that this is the actual food that you liked and is healthier or healthy. So that kind of experience that we understand from the child's perspective gives us a chance really to explore new ingredients with children, new foods with them. And if there's any fussy eaters, we try to help them as well, slowly, and being patient with them. And we understand that if they don't eat one day, it's okay. They will eat the following day. And because our menu, it repeats only every 3 weeks. So it's a 3-week cycle menu. So the main meals, for example, if they're having traditional fish pie today, for example, and I know that's a fish is a tricky one, but they will have it 3 weeks time, next time. And if they didn't like it the first time, they might forget about it. And then the next time they will try it again. And then they will start remembering, and again, the 3 weeks later. So it will be something slowly, but constant repetition, consistent as well. Yes, but obviously it would all depend on the child as well, because the children will have their own preferences as well. We cannot deny that, and they will create their own preferences. But the important thing is to expose them to these new foods as well, because we want them to make healthy choices when they move into school, when they have the school dinners, and they can choose, what to have with the meals, or as side dishes, or fresh vegetables, or things like that, just to leave aside the typical probably comfort foods, let's say. Yes. And so again, we encourage your nursery to be a partner with you in terms of what to eat, because we don't only want to feed them for the point or the sake of feeding them only, but to teach the children healthy choices. Yes, so healthy eating, and because they're spending most of the days and in the nursery, is a great opportunity, because they probably don't moan more at the nursery more than they do at home, probably, and they follow their role models, who are the practitioners as well. And it's a great opportunity for them, because again, one day my child came, and when I gave up giving them the peppers, fresh peppers, and I would always hide it in my meals. One day she would come and say, "Oh, those are peppers. Oh, I learned it from school. They are yummy." And she started eating. So you see that there's a role model with the nursery as well, and with the practitioners. So we have to make the most of it to teach them healthy eating. Yes. So that's our ethos. So that's why we are so passionate about food and preparing the food, especially for the early years, and being in partnership with the nursery.
Giulietta, you said you source all your ingredients fresh. What sort of markets do you go to get your ingredients? Are they local to where you're based, or do you use a wide range of suppliers or particular suppliers?
So we use a wide range of suppliers, especially because we started using local suppliers, but it got to a point that we are feeding quite a lot of nurseries now, but we really select our suppliers that have all the SALSA accreditation, at least, or BRC accreditation. That means that they are safe in terms of their consistency, and also all their policies and the safety policies that they've got in place. They have that they have to proceed to follow, and that actually gives us the reassurance as well of traceability. Traceability is very important for us, especially when we prepare food for big volumes of food. So we know, and we can pinpoint if anything goes wrong, actually to to trace it back to the supplier and even to the butchers or to the to the farm really where it came from. So this is the way we kind of supply our ingredients.
And are you finding you're doing more plant-based meals now? I know, I mean, Jesters isn't plant-based, but do you find, generally speaking, that you are getting requirements for more plant-based food?
Yes, and in our menu, we normally offer one main meat option, but then the rest of we've got other options as well available that are vegetarian, but particularly vegan, let's say, but not because we follow the vegan trend as such, but it happens to be that the milk or the dairy and the eggs are allergens as well. So when you remove the eggs and the dairy, it becomes a vegan recipe. But we always make sure there's a protein, a plant-based protein in that dish. So I think it was in one of one nursery that a parent asked because they were curious, just to make sure that the vegetarian option had all the nutrients that similar to what the meat option would have. And that was at the very beginning when I studied at TPNK. And it was a great exercise for me to go and look and calculate all the nutrients and comparing with the meat option, but not only with the meat option, but I took as a baseline mainly the British Nutrition Foundation, so all the guidelines on protein intake. And we understand that they have to have 15 grams of protein at least, minimum of protein per day. And by counting, and not only per day, but if you count only throughout the week, all our vegetarian meals or the vegetarian options, that's why we design from breakfast till tea. All the snacks and everything else will have some kind of protein in some cases, and plant-based or meat-based. And in total, we could cover, the vegetarian and the vegan diet perfectly well. That we try to include all more of a cultural capital. So that means new menus for one day, for 1 week, that provides new foods. Maybe if we celebrate, let's say the Holy Festival, yes, or Chinese New Year, or even Easter or Christmas, what we do is we select a new and probably a new dish for the children to explore, to have the opportunity to taste and learn about that as well. Yeah, the only message I would have for you parents is don't give up, in presenting new foods to the children. Don't feel pressurized as well. Just keep it as normal as possible in terms of presentation. So always put it on the table for the child to feel comfortable to recognize that food or new food. And then slowly their curiosity as well, it will go and have a taste of what mommy and daddy are having, yes, maybe, or something like that. So, keep it up and be patient, and I'm sure the children will be, flourishing and being nourished as well nutritionally, developing very well. And then in the future, when they go to school, they'll be healthy as well. So that's a very important point.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, everyone, we went for, when we decided to use the professional nursery kitchen, it was quite a decision that we wanted to make. We wanted to pick someone locally because it goes along with our social enterprise status. And we also wanted experts, and we wanted the best. So we invited lots of different caterers into our setting, and we had a taste test with the children. They got to help make the decision too. So it was quite a process, and I hope you agree that it was definitely the right decision that we made. The children speak volumes about it. They love it, as do the staff as well. So yeah, so that's a bit about our caterers.